Natalie Bullen is a wealth and money mindset coach from Mobile, Alabama. As the owner of Unapologetic Wealth, she teaches coaches, consultants, and expert online service providers to raise their prices, view sales as service, and unlock their sales genius so that they can step in the wealth they deserve and desire. Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Exceptional Business Podcast. I am so excited to share this episode with you. I am here with Natalie Bullen. She is the owner, founder of Unapologetic Wealth, which she is a master sales coach. She's a wealth mindset coach, and she helps so many entrepreneurs grow their business. And Natalie, thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to talk with you today.
I'm excited to be here. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Okay, so Natalie, tell me a little bit about your business. Like, how long have you been in business? What exactly does Unapologetic Wealth provide? What type of services to entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I've been in business almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years, February 2023. And it's evolved. I started off doing financial coaching. I have securities licenses. I've worked in banking. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was how little financial literacy people of color had. And I was like, I'm going to tackle this. I'm going to fix this. This is my ministry. And I learned that most of us didn't have the money. It wasn't that we couldn't stick to a budget, right? It's that we didn't have enough money to pay for everything we needed and save and invest. So it wasn't the problem I thought that we had. And I loved working with entrepreneurs and was shocked to find out that most of them weren't paying themselves anything, didn't have any investments, didn't have an IRA, didn't have a tax plan, didn't have a CPA, didn't have a financial advisor because they didn't have any money. And I'm like, why don't you have money? Because I don't know how to sell. Okay, well, let's fix that. So I actually closed down my financial planning practice. I lost quite a bit of money in the transition, but I knew it was the right thing for me to do. And now I teach people with my proven pricing methodologies and my sales training skills how to go out and make money. So marketing creates demand and lets people know you exist. But once people know you exist, how are you getting dollars from them? How do you extract dollars from the market in exchange for the value that you provide to people? That is what I teach folks how to do.
So, how has it been transforming your business from going to the financial sector to the sector that you're in now? Was that a mindset shift for you, pivoting in a sense, as far as like going from, an industry with finances primarily to what you're doing now?
Yeah, I've always seen myself as a money person. So at first I had a conflict with it. But I will say this, because I have a background in finance, because of my degrees, because of years in banking and being on chairs where we had to balance budgets, it's actually made me better in the sales training that I do now because I know how to price services. The number one issue most entrepreneurs have is that they are not charging the right price. For women, non-binary persons, and people of color, it's usually that we are charging too little. But we're using the POA strategy, as my coach would say, to pull it out your ass. We don't really know what we should be charging people. We just put a number out there and we hope it works. But is it enough for your tangible costs and then your intangible costs, like your life insurance, your health insurance, the 401k match that you don't get from your employer? Like, how many of us are priced to build a company, not just to sell a service? If I didn't have that finance background, I don't think I would be astute enough to actually come up with these complex pricing methodologies for people. So I don't look at it as I've turned my back on finance. I've looked at it as all of the finance and banking knowledge that I had has given me an in to be a very unique sales coach, because anyone can teach you how to sell. But are you selling a product that's priced to keep you in business? That's a whole different problem. So I've reconciled it within myself.
Yeah. So do you feel like why is it that we have such an issue pricing ourselves appropriately. It just seems like this
Mhm.
is just a common thing with entrepreneurs and them
Yeah.
to change their pricing or not pricing for profit. Why do you think that occurs so much, especially with women?
Yeah. Well, I think it's three things with women. One, we are trained to be nurturers, to always look out for the needs of others, and to be very empathetic. And that's social training. Men are not trained that way. So we feel responsible for other people's wallets as though they are ours because we empathize with them. Two, we've never been trained. What class did you go through in college? You a CPA, so you sat through, you got a bachelor's in accounting and then either a master's of accounting or enough grad credits to sit for the CPA exam, correct? How
Mhm.
many classes were there on pricing your services as a small business?
None.
Right. So if the people with business degrees have not been taught this, certainly people with non-business degrees or no degrees have not been taught this. There really isn't one place to go to get good information around pricing your services. There's a lot of blanket BS, double your price, quadruple your price. There's a lot of that rhetoric, charge your worth, which is weird as a statement. My worth is immeasurable. I'm a child of the Most High God. I'm a priceless being, so I don't really know how you could put a price on that. That's a weird statement. Like, how much is air worth to you?
That's priceless.
Right. But like if you see what I mean? So like that to me is like sucking the air out of a room and then going, how much would you pay for air? I'm gonna pay everything that I have, right? Because if I don't, I'm gonna die. So I think it's unusual to say when people say charge your worth. Well, what if this person has low self-worth? Should they have low prices too? I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just it's a strange phenomenon. So I think two, there's no training on how to price your services for the masses. And then three, I think there's a mindset issue for sure. I think most of us either come from poverty or middle class or have been exposed to poverty or middle class. You were born in Alabama. I was born in Alabama. Alabama is the second poorest state in the United States.
Mm.
And I believe it's actually the poorest. They claim that Mississippi is the poorest, but Mississippi has casinos. So there are pockets of Mississippi that are actually much wealthier than pockets of Alabama because of Biloxi and Gulfport. But I digress. If
Yeah,
you've been around a lot of poverty, it's hard for you to just wake up one day and go, yeah, I'm going to charge $10,000 for my services. You might not even know anybody with $10,000. You may have never even saved 10,000 yourself. So how do you then create a business that sells high ticket? Most of us have just never been exposed to luxury. We've not been exposed to affluence. We've not been exposed to high net worth individuals or ultra high net worth individuals. A lot of us don't even know where the line is.
yeah.
You do, I do. Most people don't even know what the bank considers a high net worth person, like what that number even is. So I think there's a cultural nuance since Black people are often lower compensated and lower income. We're even more sensitive to how can I charge a lot of money for my service when I don't have a lot of money, when I've never seen a lot of money, when I've never touched a lot of money, when I've never met a millionaire. And Black people are 4 times more likely to agree with the statement, I have never met a millionaire.
Mm. So then would you say that it's a mixture of them
Mhm.
not being taught it, meaning in education, this was not something that we were taught in the schools, but also a form of how we were brought up, the
Yeah.
traumas we may have experienced, and then that mindset piece that all determines the dysfunction that we
Yeah.
are to have.
Pricing dysfunction. That's exactly what it is. So you'll see people close a sale and not even be happy because they ain't even gonna break even this month.
Oh
But
wow,
they close the sale.
that's a good one.
But
Yeah,
they close the sale. But
yeah.
they ain't even happy for real because they're not charging enough, right? I met a woman who's a bookkeeper who was charging $150 a month.
Okay.
She had 32 clients.
Okay.
In addition to the bookkeeping, she claimed she was filing their taxes.
Yeah, that's not enough.
That's not enough. And people's things were slipping through the cracks. Things were getting done late. She would have people submitting documents for May in July and wouldn't get them their P&L until August. What good is May's data in August? You could keep that. How am I going to run my business with a 3-month lag in my financial reporting, right? You're
Right.
not doing no projections. what are you basing the taxes off of? This 4-month-old data? Like, you gonna file my taxes late if you're 3 months behind on my books, are you not? If you're doing my December books in March, we're not gonna make the April deadline, are we? So it was hard for her to believe that people would pay her more money because she was losing clients as it was. She thought she was losing clients because of the price point. I told her, you're losing clients because of customer service. The best thing I can tell any entrepreneur, charge people enough to take excellent care of them. Charge your clients enough to take excellent care of them. Spoiled, rotten, beautiful concierge, lovely welcome gift, beautiful branded items, a website that works, 800, whatever that looks like. Charge your clients enough to take amazing care of them. You'd rather that than people who pay you just enough to scrape by and you always scraping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. So have you had, I do want to ask you, and I'll ask you this after this question, as far as like the programs and things that you actually have for your entrepreneurs to enroll in. But in your particular business, have you had any actual mindset shifts that you've had in growing your business in the way that it looks like today? And as far as like even how you want to see it, you know, a year, 5 years, 10 years from now, and what does that look like? I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs are just starting, and it's
Uh-huh.
hard to you know, see successful entrepreneurs throughout their journey. So I think it's also very important for us to give feedback for how our journey is going as
Yeah.
well. So do you feel like there are some mindset shifts that you've had as you've been growing your business?
Absolutely, man. When I first started coaching, the only thing you could buy from me was 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks. It was $1,097 of, 6 meetings of financial coaching.
Mm.
And I'm an introvert. I was panicked about coaching people for long periods of time. I didn't want to be tangled up with people for 3 months and 6 months and 12 months. All you could buy was 6 weeks.
Mm.
That's it. And I sold those and I didn't like them. I didn't like the kind of client it attracted. I had a woman who literally went on vacation for 2 weeks and didn't tell me. I'm just sitting on Zoom like an idiot. Halfway through, she hired a Dave Ramsey type coach to come and redo all her budgeting and stuff. And I'm like, well, what's left for me to do? Why would you pay me and then go hire another financial coach? It was really weird. And I decided, you know what? If I charge more and if I get more specific about the type of client I want, I will attract a better client. And I did. I went to a 3-month offer. It was $2,500. It sold really well. I moved it to $3,500. It sold really well, and I plateaued. I was working really hard. I had 13 one-on-one clients. I was still working a 9-to-5 corporate job. I was either engaged or had just gotten married. My parents are elderly. My dad caught COVID, and I didn't even have time to fly out there to see him because I was just buried in client work and buried in my work schedule. And I was like, something got to give. But I really had a mindset that I had a good business at my $3,500 price point and that I was going to blow it up
That's
trying to move into another price point. Like, I'm like, I got a lot of yeses. I got, my third month in business, I make $18,000. That ain't supposed to happen, So, like, part of me was like, yeah, Natalie, do more, do better, raise your price. And part of me was like, who are you kidding, girl? You got a good business. Don't mess it up. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You got a lot of people giving you money. Don't rock the boat. Like, charge this price and shut up. I
yeah.
was so tired, and I was like, eventually, and you fall in love with your clients. I love the women that I was working with. They were great women. Then I had convinced myself that if I went up on my price, I wouldn't have attracted those same women, right? Because the woman who paid me $3,500 couldn't have paid me $10,000. They told me that they couldn't have paid me $10,000. So I would have missed out on those people, those friendships, had I charged $10,000. So then I was super reluctant to raise my prices. I'm like, no, no, no. These women are wonderful. I need them. They need me. I can't abandon them for the sake of more money.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff I had to overcome, but I recognized I'm not the same person who started coaching 18, 20 months ago.
Right.
Likewise, I can't expect that I would attract the same people now. If I coached now, the clients I coached 18 months ago, guess what? They're making more money now. So maybe they could have paid me 10,000 now. Maybe they couldn't have paid it then, but they can pay it now because their business has grown too. So many mindset shifts. The wanting to do it all by yourself, right? And this comes from pricing better. But when I was new, I really only charged enough to keep the business going. I wasn't pulling a salary because I was still working. And now I have to be in the mindset of I have a team. I have a chief operations officer on retainer. I have an executive assistant on retainer. So it's not just me anymore. I can't just do what I want. I can't just throw up sales pages and I can't just, I'm not rogue. I have to be responsible for other people now. Other people have a livelihood that's dependent on me doing what I need to do and charging what I need to charge. So when I get on sales call with people, we can kiki, you gonna get an invoice. And I'm not discounting my price. I'm not haggling over my price. And it really attracts a better type of client when you are firm than it does when you are cheap or when you negotiate. But anybody who thinks the mindset struggle stop because you make more money, no. Business new levels exacerbate anything unhealed that you have. Whatever you have not healed, it will increase as you increase. Every level of the elevator, if it's a fire on the bottom floor, it's gonna burn up through every floor of your business. So tell people, keep some support. I keep a mindset coach. I think when my business makes $100,000 a month, I will have mindset issues. They'll just be different issues, and you always need to make sure somebody is there to keep you from jumping off the ledge. Because I'm a ledge jumper. I threaten to burn it down at least once a week. At least once. If you ain't threatening to burn your business down this month, are you really in business?
So do you burn it down, meaning you want to just start something, restructure something, repivot something?
Yeah. Like every so often, I just want to dump all my money in the stock market, all of it, every penny, or like Airbnbs,
Okay.
short-term rentals,
Yeah.
REITs. Look, I got securities licenses. I can sell myself products and make the commission. Come on, can't beat that. Yeah, my next business will be a quiet, silent business with a very unassuming name like DLB Investment Corp. Like nobody's gonna know what it is or who owns it. The website's gonna have like pictures of skyscrapers. Like it's gonna be a whole different flex, sis. But for now, I was called. When I was in business, my first month I made around 2,400. I was doing one-time calls, and I did a workshop, paid workshop. Month 2, I made around 4,800. Month 3, I made $18,463.59 in my business. It's crazy. And I had a dream, and I woke up, and God was telling me, I did this for a reason. I gave you a 5-figure month so you could do that for 10 people. It was like the parable of the talent. It was like, don't bury this talent. I gave you this result to give you social proof. So that people will follow you. That's why I gave you this money. So if you don't do this for 10 women, I will take this from you. So that became my mission immediately, was to find 10 women at any price who would let me coach them into having their first $10,000 a month. It took me about 6 months, but I got it done. I got 10 women to have consistent $10,000 months. And so I know my next iteration is coming because I fulfill what God told me to do. I'm just not sure exactly what that is yet, but I'm listening.
That's amazing. I believe that will probably evolve for you. It sounds like over time as well.
I'm
Like,
sure. Yeah. But I felt good that I did that because I always thought to myself, there's no, the trends, you're in finance. People's businesses don't do the numbers mine do. They just don't. First business, third month, almost $19,000 gross revenue as a part-time coach on the internet. That doesn't make sense. I knew it had happened for a specific reason. And I always credit God for that.
Yeah. Listening to what you said, like your mindset shifts that you've had while growing your business, I can definitely resonate with that. I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs can too. I always call it like giving up the good to go for the great. And a lot of times we get just so stuck in that we can't see the forest from the trees. And like especially, and I guess this leads me to like me asking you about like who do you work with, the services you provide, and the programs that you have. But I feel like I see that a lot, particularly with service based businesses, of being able to scale and the idea of like trading, dollars for time and so forth. So, who do you work with, Natalie? What do your programs look like? The transformation, such as what you said with the businesses that you've grown to 10 to the five figures. Like, what does it look like for someone, an entrepreneur who really needs your help to work with you?
Yeah, I won't turn this into an infomercial, listeners. Promise. Um, People can learn all about my services at my beautiful new branded website, nataliebullen.com or unapologeticwealth.com. I have two main offers. I have a VIP day, which is for people who really just need me to review their sales process, how they're getting leads, how they're pre-qualifying leads, how they're getting people to apply. Just show me your sales process and then teach them how to close on a sales call, because very few of us have actually been trained on what it takes to get someone from cold to sold to gold in 35 minutes. It's
Mhm.
not really what happens. And I find that there's a resistance to sales because people think it's unethical, it's slimy. I have to be someone else. I have to lie. I have to deceive. I have to hide my prices. I have to hide my kids. I have to pretend to be perfect. I have to put on makeup. There's just this long like list of things that people have put in the bucket with sales. Sales is relationships. There's only one thing in the bucket with sales: relationships. That's it. There doesn't have to be falsehood or pretense or lies. It's just you and the client. If you are in your clients, if you're your client's advocate and you are on their side, taking their money and solving their problem is the only ethical thing to do. It would be unethical to do anything else. If I saw you were in a burning building and I had the skill and the technique and the time to save you and I didn't, I did something unethical.
Mhm.
Period. And no one would argue that if I sat there and watched you, the fire department watched you burn up in your house. People are going to say the fire department was in the wrong, but yet that's what we do out here in these internet streets. We pull up in the fire truck, we see people struggling, and we go, oh no, I don't want to be salesy, and we drive off.
Mhm.
So I teach people to be salesy on their terms. I need to use that. I like that.
Yeah.
And then I offer ongoing coaching support, which is good for people who think, I don't need the VIP day. I need ongoing support. I need you to look at my sales process, sure, but I need someone to walk that step by step with me in my mindset. I need someone to look over my offer suite and price it competitively. So a lot of us have prices that don't make sense. We'll have a 1 hour call that's $200 and a VIP day that's 5 hours that's 3,500.
Yeah.
Well, mathematically that doesn't make sense. Or we'll have multiple offers that's all the same price. You'll see an attorney with a $3,000 package that has like trademarks and stuff. They'll have a $3,000 a month retainer, and then they'll have a program where you got to put down a $3,000 deposit.
Mm,
Well, I don't know what to pick as a consumer because the price quality heuristic tells me that you get what you pay for, i.e., when things are more expensive, they're a better quality or a better fit. You price everything about the same. I don't know what I should choose. So you've already put a seed of confusion in your sales call before you even get people on the phone. Those are the kind of problems that I sort out for people. What are you going to sell? Who are you going to sell it to? How are you going to sell it? And my goal is to get people 80% pre-sold before they even get on the phone with you. 80%. Literally just don't mess it up on the call. That's the point I like to get it to. And I can do that for people. Like there's a process by which you get people invested in transforming their lives. You get people problem aware, you get them solution aware, you get them you aware, and then you send a Stripe link. It's really not as complicated as people make it seem, but I think having that camaraderie helps. So anyway, if you want to learn more about me, they can go to my beautiful website, Natalie Bullen, and read all about it.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So do you do outside of like the VIP days, do you still do like one-on-one coaching, or is that a retainer package that goes into it?
Yeah. It's one-on-one still. I know nobody does that anymore, but I have a one-on-one coach. I prefer one-on-one coaching. So I won't say I'll never run a group program again, but right now it's either one-on-one coaching with me or you can get in my VIP day.
Mhm. So as an entrepreneur, I've seen that there's levels. There's levels when you get from, maybe 0 to 50, maybe 52. You can put whatever brackets in that you like, but there's mindset shifts and levels of things that change. So what does it look like where you are in your business right now? Like, what does your work-life balance look like? Like, how do you manage your time? Like, what does your schedule look like? I think a lot of beginning entrepreneurs or growing entrepreneurs are always trying to find discipline, consistency, and things like that. So, what does it look like as far as like your work life balance?
That's a good question. I think for people who are in the 0 to 10K a month bucket, 80% of your time should be spent on revenue generating activities. Revenue generating activities are not tinkering with your website, fighting with Kajabi, writing a blog. Those are not revenue generating activities. I'm talking about making offers
Yes,
to people who are alive,
yes, selling.
breathing out loud and can hear you, not in your thoughts, like out loud, making offers, getting on sales calls, writing, sales copy for your sales page, maybe networking calls to a degree if you've got an aligned paid networking community that you're in, networking,
Mhm.
generating activity that makes money, and 20% can be your admin and your non-revenue generating activity. I think once you cross over into consistent $10,000 months, you got to start looking at how can I replicate myself. So the 10 to 20K phase should really be about like systems and processes. At that point, you got enough demand to be able to say people like what I sell.
Mhm.
There's demand for my offer. I would tell them to find someone who's great at systems, who can start to get their SOPs together. How are my processes? How do I do things? Why do I do them this way? You're going to have a funnel, a lead magnet, an email list, 10 to 20K, I would say. Maybe scale your revenue generating activity back to maybe 70% and get your systems and tech and admin. If you're in that 30, 20 to 50K bracket where I'm at right now a month, then it's how do you create a team of people to support so you're not doing everything. So
Mhm.
right now for me, I just onboarded my executive assistant, and I'll tell you, it's difficult. It's difficult. I have trust issues. I don't trust anyone to run my business, because nobody gives a damn about my business like I give a damn about my business. And that's probably not true, but that's what my trauma tells me, and that's why I'm in therapy. Amen. So that's been the challenge for me, is not doing it myself. I was literally, before we got on this podcast, I was in the middle of typing up a new offer. I'm doing a cash infusion. I was typing it myself, and I was going in Acuity, and I was creating a Stripe link, and the first thing I was like, damn, I was like, my admin is gonna kill me. I was like, let me pause. Let me do this podcast. Let me at least send her an email, God, and give her an opportunity, right? To
You.
Yeah, because she ain't crossed my mind, right? All I could hear was the dollar signs, and I'm just supposed to click and submit, okay? And 30 minutes from now, if you see a post from me on Facebook, you know what won out, if my common sense won out or if my impulse won out. So right now my schedule is chaotic.
Yes, it's hard. I definitely
It's
resonate.
hard. I'm a hyperachiever. My calendar is chaotic. It's much better now in Q4 than it was. But I set some very aggressive goals. So I'm going to say this for anyone listening. There are 3 seasons in your business. There's a planting season, there's a growing season, and there's a harvest season. Okay. And if you know anything about agriculture, I went to an agricultural university. Okay. You have different crops that rotate all different times of the year. So you might have corn that's in a harvest season. You might have watermelon that's still in a growing season. Bamboo grows for 6, 7 years at this tall and it shoots up like 20 feet. You can't be planting and growing and harvesting at the same time. Q1 and Q2, I was planting. I wanted to be on 50 podcasts. You are number 60, my dear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I wanted to be on 50 podcasts, and
Amazing,
yeah,
Natalie.
it's a blessing. I wanted to write a book. I wanted to launch a course. I wanted to get on stages. I wanted to avoid catching COVID. I wanted to serve 100 clients. I
Mm,
had really aggressive goals at the top of the year. So my calendar reflects that. My calendar reflects somebody who really hit it hard Q1 to get it done.
mm,
Next year is going to be a season of harvest, right? All of the podcasts, all of the SOPs, the branding and the website and the photos and the book and the course and the recurring revenue and the affiliate, and it's going to start generating more money passively, so I don't have to do so much. So I expect the calendar to clear out. I only serve 4 one-on-one clients at a time now. My max used to be 8, now it's 4. So that has given me tremendous time in my calendar. I don't have as many coaches. At one point, I had 6 different coaches. I had a rest coach, a mindset coach, a life coach, a business coach, a sales coach,
mhm,
and I've consolidated that down to just 2 people. So I have fewer voices in my head and fewer commitments in terms of calendars. I take Friday off. Friday is my CEO day. I don't work at all, at all, at all, at all. If I can avoid my computer altogether, it was a good day. Wednesday is a flex day. I am in office, but I don't take video meetings.
mhm.
And then Saturday, I don't even think about work. And Sunday, I prep for the week.
Mm. So, so this is your planting season that lasts all year for the harvest that comes, for example, next year.
Yeah.
So in some instances, there may not be a balance as you put.
No, right. There was no balance because I was literally planting 7 different crops.
Yeah.
And every crop have a different season. Asparagus is a winter crop. Watermelon is a summer crop. So if you planting different fruits and vegetables all year, you ain't gonna have no slow season.
Right.
Right. You ain't gonna have no slow season. But once you get past the crazy part, you should be able to start reaping.
Right.
And I think I'm coming into that season. If I were smarter in the beginning, I would have focused on recurring revenue. See, I'm a great salesperson. I take it for granted that I can always go out there and sell something. But what if I had devoted in the very beginning to figuring out a way to get $10,000 a month without having to work for it?
Hmm.
How much less work would I be doing, right? If you got a tech brain and you can sell a software, if you can sell a software as a service, if you have a SaaS,
Hmm.
to that's the recurring revenue magnet right there. Or if you can get affiliate income coming in, that's it. Those 2 things, had I known on the front end, but no, I was coaching like crazy. I didn't know any better, right? So I think as you progress, you learn more. So now I tell my clients from the beginning, don't make the mistake I made. Don't start your business a hustler and then try to hustle your way into a sustainable business. Start with a sustainable business so you can skip the hustle period altogether if possible. And I could have skipped the hustle period had I not had a hustler mentality. But I had a hustler mentality. So, of course, I created a business that played right into my strengths and weaknesses.
Hmm. But you know what, Natalie? That seems like a common, like with coaches, that is how coaches make their money. So I feel like it's hard for coaches to try to create reoccurring revenue in that way.
It's not. It's only hard because we're not taught. Last month I made $1,200 in affiliate income
Mm,
from a page on my website.
mm,
I bank with Bank Novo. They pay $40 per new account. So when people ask me where's my business bank account, I just send them the link to my resources page. I'm a QuickBooks affiliate. I'm a Dubsado affiliate. I'm a Gusto affiliate. I mean, every software that I use, I'm a Loom affiliate.
yeah,
Every software people you ain't even know how to affiliate.
yeah, yeah.
I'm an American Express. So American Express Platinum has a program that gives you maybe 35,000 points, up to 4 referrals a year. I made a Facebook post and said, hey, get this credit card. 12 people applied, 8 of them got approved. I said, damn, I missed the opportunity there. I can only get 4 referrals, and I was able to post one time and get 12 people to apply for a credit product, and 8 of the 12 get approved. That means 4 of those people I got no points on.
Right.
So I talked to a guy who's excellent with credit. His name is Owen. And I said, hey, look, you're getting tons of referrals. I don't think they're giving you points. I think they're giving you cash. Am I correct? He said, yeah, they pay me cash. I said, can you teach me how to do that? He said, yeah, become an affiliate under my program for my course. And I did. He hooked me up to where now I get paid cash when people apply for that credit card. So was it hard, or was it that I didn't know how?
Right. Exactly.
It's the latter. Because people who know, they know, right? I knew he wasn't doing all that promo for points. No, he gets a check. So I give him a cut now, which I'm perfectly fine with. So in perpetuity, when people apply, he gets a spread, I get a spread. I'm sleeping in my bed. People apply for American Express. Had I known that in the beginning, I would have made different choices. But it's a house of cards for most coaches to build a business that requires them to close clients every month. Because what happens the month you can't? I'm blessed and that month hasn't happened to me. But it's happening to a lot of people. People are under a lot of pressure online. It's the wild, wild west out there. The coaching's you don't have to be credentialed. Consultant either. I mean, I come from a regulated industry. You in a regulated industry, so you understand, right?
Yeah.
I'm used to finance where people have to be licensed. FINRA is a beast. They want to know if you have a yard sale, right? So I'm not accustomed to this world where you could be anybody or nobody. You don't have to go to college. You ain't have to go to high school. You don't have to take any training or read any books or anything. You just hang up a shingle. I'm a coach, and you off to the races. There's a lot of people out there that are coaches now. There's a lot of noise. It's getting harder for prospects to weed out what's good and what's bad. At this point, we've all been burned, all of us. All of us who are selling online and buying online have been burned by a charlatan. We've gotten into a program that wasn't what they claimed it was going to be. So people are much more wary to invest now. So if you don't have a system that's going to pull money in every month, you can find yourself in trouble. Like it's really important. And this is why I'm so transparent, even on your podcast, even with my clients. Do not build a business that requires you to have to market, sell, and deliver everything. Remove yourself out of those processes as soon as you can. Get someone to help you with marketing, get you a sales team if you need it, and then find something that's either evergreen or that you aren't the only person doing the delivery. Because eventually, if there's a market slowdown, or if your leads don't have money or whatever, you don't want to be contingent on somebody paying you for you to be able to get paid. And I've had clients like that was waiting on the invoice, and their client was waiting on the invoice, and that client was waiting on the invoice. So you got a domino of broke people, right? You got a client waiting on a client waiting on a client to pay you. And now you can't pay your team until somebody you don't even know, 2-3 people down the chain, gets paid. I've never run into that issue because I'm always ahead of it. But again, I have a finance leaning that has blessed me tremendously. That's why I do what I do. I don't ever want someone to go out of business because they ran out of money. And it's happening out here, and it's sad.
Yeah. Natalie, that's so interesting because I was just thinking, like, I was going to ask you, do you think that the coaching industry is like oversaturated? But when looking at your business, you have such a big following. Does that also equate to what you teach, which is sales? And the sales part, the marketing part, is how you curated your audience, which you also teach in your programs and your clients. But in general, do you have like any thoughts on that for like coaches, meaning like what you are doing, a piece of your success is really tied to exactly what you teach, and your ability to market and sell has been that difference that has
It's true.
allowed you to really be able to grow a successful business.
I think that's part of it, but I'll tell you the truth. I think part of it is also that my business came up during COVID when everybody was stuck at home, bored, lonely, and quitting their jobs in droves. I
Mm,
think it's a lot harder to start a coaching business right now than it was 2 years ago.
really?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's going to continue to get harder. I think right now, there's three things if you're a coach that you need to have.
Okay.
You need to have a proven framework or methodology that gets clients results in a reliable, predictable, repeatable fashion.
Mm.
Not I get people at results and I don't know how.
Right.
Not I do this for this person and I do this for this person and I do this for that person and then
Right.
these two get this offer and then these two get a proven, repeatable framework that gets reliable results. And you need to be able to tell people about it, right? So I have three systems I use in my business. I have the sales siren system. So if you've ever heard of a siren, it's like a mermaid, like it calls out to people and they can't resist. So I teach people to become a sales siren,
Mm.
right? I want you to be a beacon of light. I want people to be like, oh my, it's like the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
Oh my God, whatever that woman is selling, I have to buy it. I want it so badly. I will come up with the money. I will close the client. I will fly to Alabama. Just give it to me.
Right. I love
Right.
it.
I teach people how to activate their sales siren. So I have a sales siren system that has 3 steps that also start with an S. I have my proven pricing framework, which is literally two, it's a fork in the road. Fork one, you need to sell something today and you need a price. I can get you 70, 75% there in terms of what you should price something. So I can get you a range. So if you go, Natalie, I need a cash infusion today. Okay. I understand you're gonna do my proven private, my proven private method. I get it, Peter picked a peck of peppers. Yeah, you're gonna do all that. But I need some money today. Okay. I need to put a cash infusion out today. Here's my idea. What you think I should price it at? I can ask you 5 to 7 questions and look at one piece of financial data in either in your P&L or your Stripe, and I can get you 75% of the way there in terms of a range of a price today for an offer.
Wow.
If you have more time, I actually have a framework that can get you 98% of the way there. It's just going to take me a few days. So just let me know how much time you have and I'll spit you out a number either way. And I can do that if you're a hairdresser. I can do that if you're an attorney. I can do that if you're an accountant. I can do that if you're a sales consultant. I can do that if you're B2B. I can do that if you're B2C. I can do that for your evergreen course. I can do that for your webinar. I can do that for your speech if you're a speaker. Give me 2 3 days and get you 98% of the way there to a price that feeds you, your team, your family, gives you peace and prosperity. Period.
Mm.
So I have a proven pricing framework. I got a now and a later. And then 3, I have my mindset techniques. So I help people with money mindset, but I also have a few tools in my belt. I have a licensed financial therapist,
Mm.
licensed clinical social worker that I partner with for people who are going through financial trauma, for people who have had, instances in their life that are keeping them stuck, right? There's mindset work, that's cool. But if you have childhood trauma, me telling you to double your price is not going to help anything. If anything, is going to bring up more feelings of unworthiness and make you feel worse. Like, well, I paid Natalie all this money. Why can't I raise my price? Why can't I do the thing? It's because your brain is in a hyper aroused state. You have trauma. You don't have a mindset block. And it's important to be able to make that distinction. So that's why people pay me a lot of money, because I have a repeatable framework that works. Okay. A lot of people don't have that. If you're a coach right now and you don't have that, you need to hire somebody who's a master at frameworks, lay out all of your skills and gifts, and get them to make one of those for you. I don't create frameworks for people, but I can refer you to people who do. So that's 1. 2, you need to have a pipeline of leads. You need to have a system that attracts people into your world and keeps them there until they are educated enough to decide they want to work with you. So if that's a lead magnet or a quiz or Facebook Lives, whatever that looks like, you need a strategy to attract. I am constantly attracting. Every single day, I add 10 Facebook friends. I run a software that tells me who engages with my page, and I release people who do not engage. That's a daily task. I'm getting in front of new people every single day. right? I have SEO coming, is going to get done on the site. The site is beautiful. I just looked at my analytics before we talked. 800 people went to my site last month. Considering I'm not running any kind of ads, I think that's phenomenal. Right? So, how are you getting people to you? You can't just say, I'm excellent and people will figure out what I do and people will find me and people will hire me. Those days are over. The days of just being able to put in your Facebook bio, I'm a coach and get clients, they're dead. They're never coming back. You're going to have to be doing something actively to get clients. And 3, you're going to have to differentiate yourself somehow. I like to differentiate on quality, not on price. Because if you make yourself the low cost leader, you are telling your business, we're always going to be devoted to lowering our costs, right? If you differentiate on high price, all someone has to do is price higher than you. So you really want to price on quality. I am unmatched in how much I care about my clients, and people know it. And I've got dozens of case studies and dozens of testimonials. And any client of mine, when people go, Natalie, can I reach out to one of your clients? Sure. Is there anyone in particular? Nope, you pick. I don't want to taint you and send you my best clients. You choose. Go on my page, find any of the, 20 dozen people who I've helped this year and ask them how they feel about it. You choose and you let me know what happens.
Yeah.
And that is a differentiator. Giving a damn is a differentiator. So I think right now, if you're a coach, you need to be doing 3 things. Get your framework, your methodology tight, and start touting that as the reason, right? Even with you, there's something you do with taxes that other people don't do. There's something you do. Is it you help millionaires? You're the master of the S corp. You've really got that dialed in. You're the home office expert. You get people who travel a ton, right? So if you travel, if you drive 300 miles a month and you eat 20 business meals a month at 100% instead of 50% now, and you fly, if you're the travel lawyer, attorney, accountant, you got a niche. Put your niche and your methodology out there. Like, stop being timid. Some people are gonna humble their way right out of business.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. I was just about to ask you that. I was going to ask you, well, Natalie, what about the introverts? What about
I'm an introvert.
right?
Okay, let me give you the definition of introvert.
You're like an extroverted introvert.
No, let me tell you the definition of introvert. An introvert is a person who gains energy from being by themselves.
Okay.
That's it. It ain't got nothing to do with being shy. It's nothing to do with being quiet. It has nothing to do with being humble. If you quiet and shy, say that then, but don't put that on introverts. That's one. Did you know the most used app on my phone is the Kindle app?
Okay.
I read 4 to 5 hours a day alone in my bed. My husband can attest to this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. I get off these. I don't have another commitment for 3.5 hours. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get back in my bed, and I'm gonna read a book until then.
Yeah.
So you can go make all your money, and then you'll be as introverted as you want. But don't blame introversion for being broke. Don't do that. Don't do that, because introversion ain't do nothing to you, and that's not nice. That's not nice. I will say this: it is a skill to be able to talk about yourself. And that is a practiced skill. Most people feel very uncomfortable being as braggadocious as I appear. But I want folks to remember we're attracted to confidence at a biological level, even in like mating. I mean, anything, we are attracted to confidence. Farmers harvest the largest fruit and produce first.
Yeah.
That's how it is, right? So if you aren't confident about what you sell, why would a client be confident purchasing it? That's my thing. If you're afraid to sell it to me, I'm afraid to buy it.
Yeah.
I will not buy something from somebody who seems unsure about their level of prowess in fixing my problem. Like, you need to talk big talk to get my money. Last coach who closed me was like, I can solve this problem. I can solve this problem easily. I can solve this problem quickly. And this is what it costs. Perfect.
Yeah.
If she would have been on that, well,
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure about this. As an introvert, I really only like to talk for 30 minutes at a time. I don't really know if I want your $10,000, Natalie. I'm gonna send you an email with some options. How does that sound? Girl, bye. This is why folks be tripping, okay?
Yeah.
Talk your talk because no one else is gonna talk it for you. And if that's not your gift, raise your prices and hire a sales team. It
Mm.
is a thing. You don't have to sell for you don't have to market. You don't have to do anything if you got the money to pay for it. So if you are sitting here listening to this thinking to yourself, I can never be like Natalie. That is a lot of personality. That is a lot of energy for somebody pretending to be an introvert. And that's a lot of shit talking for somebody who claim they kind of humble. I could never replicate that. Great. How much do you need to charge to hire a Natalie for your business that can go out and be the face of your business and close clients? And that way, the first time you see people is on your first coaching call
Yeah.
or on your first tax strategy planning call or whatever, right? Like I've hired coaches where I didn't meet with the coach until the first coaching call, but the sales call was with someone and the onboarding call was with someone else. And the email was from someone else. Like I think that's a even more reason to like have a team. Like look at your future board. You know, you asked me where I see my business 2 years from now, a year from now, I won't be doing my own sales calls. Absolutely not. I
Mm.
sure won't. I won't be doing sales calls for VIP days at all. If I'm still doing VIP days, they'll probably be in a group format. You'll apply and you'll get put with a cohort, and we'll do maybe one day or one weekend, maybe in person, maybe virtual, but it'll be all at one time. So, people can get in where they fit in. I'll still do one on one coaching, but it will be limited. It'll be 20K plus.
Yeah.
And I'll do more consulting on the B2B side to be able to go into people's businesses, especially if they have a new product, and be able to price that new product so that when it hits the market, it sells well in the first place.
Mhm.
So that's where I see myself. I see myself on big stages in beautiful clothes, in a smattering array of beautiful heels, and my hair will be laid, and my makeup will be gorgeous, and I'll be telling people how they deserve unapologetic wealth in their business, and people will pay me 5 figures for an hour of my time, and they'll be happy that they did it. Like I already have a future vision out there. It requires a lot of money, so
Yes.
I can't be cheap and I can't be scared in this season.
Yeah.
I can't be. So do whatever you need to do to expand yourself to the idea of having more money and try it out before you say, I can't. We normally tell ourselves what we can't do before we've even tried. Try it before you say, I can't do that. I think leave that in the notes as the homework. Just try the thing before you immediately say it's something you can't do.
Mm. That's good, Natalie.
This was a sermon. We did good.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so before we hop off today, I want to ask you, and it's so funny talking about books. I love books. What's 1 to 2 books that you felt were pivotal in your business or entrepreneurship or even your life? And any advice or feedback or anything that you want to leave for other entrepreneurs, maybe coaches, people who are trying to aspire to get to where you are? What's a nugget or a jewel that you can drop for them before you go?
I like that. They need to read Influence. Oh God, who is it by? Who is it by? Stand by.
I'll look it up and drop it in the show notes for you all.
Yeah, look it up. Drop it in the show notes for
I
people.
will, and I will have all of Natalie's information
Mm,
in the show notes as well, so you can find her on Facebook, Instagram.
here we go.
Just her web-
Influence: The Psychology of Persuasion. It is by Robert Cialdini, PhD. You need to read it. It talks about how and why human behavior makes you do what you do. It talks about the law of reciprocity. If you want to sell anything, or if you have ever bought anything, you need to read this book,
Okay.
period. So that's one. Two, Atomic Habits. I
Oh,
know it's cliche,
oh,
but you need to read it. You need to read it every year, okay? Because you forget. Honorable mention, Indistractable
mm,
by his name is Near, Nireyal, Eyal. It talks about how to focus and why you should focus and what you should focus on. He went on like a social media sabbatical and it did wonders for his business. It is written towards a person who is neurotypical. So if you are neurodivergent, it is not going to give you appropriate strategies. This is assuming it's some baseline assumptions there, but a good book nevertheless. I just want to put that out there because I've become more cognizant and aware and honoring of all neurotypes. So those are the books that you should read. The last nugget is to stop counting other people's pockets. You sell to adults. Adults know what they can and can't afford, so let them make a decision. Okay. When you have a sales call, you're going to do this. You're going to say, hey, Nakandra, thank you for your time. Based on what you've told me, I think offer X is going to be perfect. It comes with X, Y, and Z, and it costs blank. How does that sound? And then you're going to shut up. And you're going to sit there until they say something. 10 seconds, 30 seconds, hang out. Don't start explaining. Don't add more information. I'm offering you this. It comes with this. It costs this. Shut up. Best advice I have for you. Because that puts the ball in the other person's court. You'd be surprised how often people say, that sounds great. Send the invoice. Which is probably the most beautiful sentence in the English language.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Natalie. That's a wrap. I feel like you dropped so many jewels for so many entrepreneurs, mindset, wealth, and all of that. So thank you so much for being on the podcast. I will again link all of, but we can find you on Facebook, Instagram, your website. Did I miss anything, Natalie?
I'll give you my Clubhouse handle too, just in case.
Okay, so I'll have all of that in the show notes. You all can reach out to her. Thank you for listening to the episodes and take care. We'll see you next time.